Welcome everybody. This is Bernadette and this is the Magical Garden with Bernadette. And today I wanted to talk to you about how you can grow a garden on a budget and how to grow tons of food with very little space. So without further ado, let us get started. I'm going to start by showing you all of the veggies and food that we are growing right here on the deck. So let me go to back up just a little bit. So we have all various types of lettuces, Merlot lettuce, Soliflare, and forgive the sun, it's pretty direct right now, but this is the only time I had to do some videotaping. So we have Swiss chard here, we have more lettuce. What I'm going to show you is that this is a raised bed that we've been getting one or two every year from Sam's Club, Walmart, all those places have these raised beds here. Down here, that's going to be hard to see, but those are radishes. And we have all sorts of tomatoes, all sorts of veggies, tomatoes, hot peppers. You can see that we have all types of herbs, bunching onions that are here. Let's move forward here. Various hot peppers, Trinidad, scorpions that we have here. More tomatoes. And this year I'm growing more plum tomatoes. And you can see that I have basil in between the tomato plants. Here is pak choi. More tomatoes, more basil. These peppers need to be transplanted. What I have here is a green stalk. And you can see these deep pockets have strawberries in them, as well as more strawberries here. More tomatoes, more basil, strawberries here. I have some rue and datura. Those are going to get transplanted out into larger pots. More tomatoes. I actually am growing wormwood over there. Excuse me, not wormwood. That is mugwort. We have foxglove, and you can see I have all these trellises going on here. Peppers, cucumbers, that is a dwarf cherry tree, blueberries, another cherry tree, and more strawberries there. Here is a view of our of our outdoor garden, and you can see that it is quite small. So, let's see if I can give you a better idea. There is my deck or porch. And you can see that the garden down here is almost the length of it. So, I'm going to just step away so you can get an idea. So, these are roses in the front. This one is a David Austin. And I can't remember what this one is, but I know it's a triple bloomer. We have lavenders next to it. African daisies that are in there. Most of everything inside are hot peppers. My husband is an aficionado of hot peppers. Here are various tomatoes that we have here. And then in this barrel, we have nasturtiums. Let me get in a little bit closer. There we go. The lighting is a little bit better here too. Nasturtiums are actually an edible flower. So you can add these to your salads. This is a salvia up here. And then more of the African daisies. Our daffodils are now done, so we wound up picking those for flower arrangement inside. So I wanted to give you this. You can see there's actually a little bumblebee. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but he's doing his thing. And the colors here are just amazing. So I'm looking up again at the deck just to give you a better perspective as to actually how small my area is. I don't even know how to figure out the square footage here. And now I'm going to go to the side. Here is our lovely mess, but it's all tools and stuff of which we're going to be using for so much more throughout the season. Alrighty, so this was the view that I promised to show you. Well, I finally have a chance to finish this video. It's actually been a day and a half since the last one because of rain and other circumstances going on here. So I wanted to have that talk about how to best work with limited space and how to garden on a budget. So basically what I've done is I started with grow bags. Grow bags are very inexpensive. You can go on Amazon and many other places that will help you make a decision as to what company you can use. And they usually come in like 5-gallon, 10-gallon, 15. They go all the way up. Some of the best that I've seen, if I'm not mistaken, is the Smart Pots. And I see that on Callie Kim's page. So it's really awesome. So I know that you can get a link through there in order to be able to get them. But there are many other companies as well. I'm on my deck now, and there was a big rainstorm. So everything is looking pretty terrific and really green. At this point, it's kind of, let me see if you can do this. It's kind of hard to see everything here. And I have a new camera, so I'm still trying to figure out how to work this. But at this point, I have everything in. All my tomatoes, peppers, lots of flowers, because you need the flowers to pollinate all of the plants that you have. I have pak choi, lettuce leaf, basil. I'm just looking around at everything. Lots of strawberries. You can see that I have my green stalk over there. You could see all the greenery that I have all around me. And the lighting looks pretty good. So it is true when they say later on in the day, the lighting is even better. All this greenery, and it's only mid-May. That is because I have a little greenhouse, and it's seriously, I don't know if you could see it from here, only 6x4, but I have a deck that this is on, or a porch. Never know what the difference is. Anyway, how to garden on a budget? Seed starting. I started everything from seeds. I'm going to switch hands because my arm is getting tired. But just about 90% of everything that I've done here is started by seed. If I did not start it by seed, I went to local farms. There's one called Devitt's here. There's another one, Acres, Adams Fair Acres, and then there's Jones Farms here. And I look for the best deals. And what I did with that this year was marigolds. I did not grow marigolds this time, and I like to use marigolds as companion planting to deter bugs. I try to keep my garden as organic as possible. Over the years, I know that I can even be better, because honestly, I don't know what's in the plants that I start. That I buy. So with that in mind, I have my own compost pile. I start by seed. That is the huge saver right there. And there are ways of making compost tea. I did not have enough compost, so I wound up buying compost in bulk. I only needed 1 cubic feet, but you have to buy according to your needs. Anyway, I could go on and on and on. Budgeting or gardening on a budget, use what you've got to start with before going down the rabbit hole and buying way too much. A lot of people buy and grow a lot of stuff that they actually don't need. So you start with what you use the most. I have found that over the years, the things that I use most is actually tomatoes. I am an avid canner. I'm really into sustainability as best as possible. I am not in the country, but I do live in a rural area. I don't know if you can see the mountains behind me, but that is Storm King Mountain, and I'm very blessed to be living in this area. I actually live on a retreat center, as my husband is the manager of this place. So we have a teeny tiny little place and a little plot of land that we can work on. So some people, you can start on a porch, you can start on a deck. If you're in the city, I'm actually a city girl. I used to throw some things on a fire escape. Don't know that that's actually a legit thing to do, but that is okay. You can grow in anything. If you can see that I have this green stalk behind me that is great for porches, apartment balconies. There are many different ways. Gardening starts with a plant. It could be a house plant. It could be any number of things. But that's how it starts. So with that in mind, I'm going to end the video here. If you like us, please, hit that like button, subscribe to us, and let me know in the comments section what it is that you like, okay? And I will talk to you soon. Many blessings. Bye-bye. So actually, I thought I was finished with this video, but as we were doing the editing, my husband actually brought up some really good points that I didn't bring out certain certain ideas on how we learned how to budget. Or I should say, have a budget for our gardening. And he's right about that. So, number one, seeds. Where do you get your seeds? I personally got a lot of them from Johnny Seeds and Baker's Creek. But, you know, there are seeds in the dollar store. Now, I cannot vouch for them. But if that's what you've got, give it a try. If you're worried about GMOs, that is not the case. None of the seeds that us as regular retail customers are GMO seeds. You actually have to sign some sort of agreement with them, and you have to be a big business in order to be able, or agricultural business, in order to be able to obtain GMO seeds. So don't worry about that. So he's right. Another aspect is to seed save. Alrighty. Now that's going to be another video as to whether or not you're growing heritage seeds or hybrid seeds and stuff, because there is a difference in regards to the not the amount, but the type of variety that you will grow. So there is something called true to type, and then there are others where you're not really sure what you're going to get. Like you're going to get a tomato, but it may not be a Sun Gold or a San Marzano. That again is another video, but he's right, and he mentioned that. Where do you get your seeds? You can get them at a dollar store if need be. There are also seed swaps in your area and plant swaps in your area. So that's one way to do it. Secondly is to use what you've got, meaning if you've got your own pots around, I save everything. We used to use the 5-gallon pots from the big box stores. They're actually food grade. So whatever you use are actually should be food grade plastic in order to do that. Dollar store also, the discount stores have pots that you can use, tier systems that you can use. Anything will work, to be honest with you. And of course, the cheapest way is to do it in ground. You just have to amend your soil, make sure it's good and healthy, and try to be as weed-free as possible. That's using some sort of mulch to keep the weed suppression down. So that are some of the other ways of growing on a budget. Sometimes you can't do it right away. Other times you might be able to find, again, what is with you, what you may have. It's taken me years just to get the soil the way I want it, not because it wasn't available to me, but because I was learning on how to get the best type of soil that I can use. So I'm pretty pleased with what I have, but it's probably going to be nothing compared to what it will be in years to come, because again, I'm going to learn and how to get better. It takes time. It's all gardeners learn something new every year. Alrighty. The idea of just having the green around you is very thrilling to me. To see those seeds come up for the first time is very exciting. To see those flowers turn up. And as I mentioned before, I'm a canner. So that first can of tomatoes that I make, jars that I make and that I've successfully canned, is very exciting to me. So that tomato sauce or the salsas that I make out of that, I'm going to have that throughout the season. And it's very satisfying to know that I grew them. And that it was fresh off the vine and has been sitting in a supermarket for days on end, and in a warehouse before that for weeks on end. So those are some of the ways. Seeds, using the pots that you've got. Don't laugh when I say that I've used coffee pots. Not coffee pots. When you buy coffee and you buy them in bulk, the big containers, I use that. Now I use them for throwing kitchen scraps in. So I don't throw anything out, alrighty? So I hope that answers some of your questions. And if you have questions about that, tell me and I will answer them for you. Alrighty?